Hello and welcome to the Bronco Exchange. I'm your host, Dr. Shanessa Fenner. And today I have a very special guest, actually a relative of mine, my baby sister, Mrs. Erica Fenner-McAdoo. Welcome, Erica. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So why don't you first let the audience know a little bit about yourself, Erica?
Okay. Well, I am 37 years old, and I'm married to Tremaine McAdoo. I have two children, Tyson, who is 6, Maya, who is 4. They have the best aunt in the world, Dr. Shanessa Fenner, and my mom, Linda Bowser. Okay. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated also.
All right. Okay. Where are you from?
I'm a native of Fayetteville, and I graduated from Douglasburg High School.
Okay, all right. So when did you first decide that you wanted to be a teacher?
Well, that's funny because I always wanted to be a teacher. You know, our mother was a teacher, and I was very fond of my kindergarten teacher, Miss Jordan, and I always wanted to be like both of those ladies. So Mom built a playhouse in the backyard, and I created a school. I had a chalkboard and my baby dolls and books, and so from then on I always wanted to be a teacher, so from a very young age.
Okay. And why was Miss Jordan your favorite teacher by chance?
She was just very, very nice, and she made learning really fun. And that's something that that stood out to me. I don't remember a lot about my childhood at that age, but that's something to this day I still remember.
Okay. Now you're currently principal of Howard Hall Elementary School here in the Cumberland County system. So when did you first realize you wanted to be a principal?
Well, you know, some of my mentors, including Ms. Brenda Miner, mentioned to me that they felt like I had what it took to be an administrator. And so they kind of put that in my mind before I thought of it on my own. And at that time, I started exploring the option. And so that was maybe in my 4th year or 5th year of teaching. And I applied for the North Carolina Principal Fellow Scholarship, and I received that, and then it just went from there.
Okay. All right. Now, my understanding, of course, your last school was Walker Spivey Elementary School. You had a wonderful program that you did with the students and the parents. Tell us a little bit about that.
Parent University. I was very, I just always wanted parents to be involved. I didn't want them to feel intimidated to come to school. And I've always studied parent involvement. So I thought, what could we do, you know, just to make it more fun and engaging for the parents. And I came up with a graduation ceremony. You know, students like to be recognized, and I know adults do as well. So we put in place Parent University, where parents were given a transcript, and they were able to earn credits on their transcript for every event that they attended. So it was IEP meetings, parent-teacher conferences, SST meetings, our curriculum nights, awards days, anything that they attended. Of course, some of the events were weighted differently, but they were given credits on their transcript towards graduation, and some of them could even graduate with honors if they had enough credits. And so it increased our parent involvement, and it gave us the opportunity to teach our parents about what we were teaching their children. So it was a win-win for everyone.
And you know, you and I have had conversations, Erica, about the role of parental involvement. It is so major and so key. I mean, yes, it takes a village to raise and educate our babies. So parents, please be sure to always stay involved. Have consistent communication with the teacher, the principal, the guidance counselor, and you know, when your children come home in the evening, have a conversation with them, ask them about how was your day, what did you learn today. Those are the things that's very key.
Very key.
Now, Erica, when you were a teacher, what grade did you teach?
I taught kindergarten. Well, I also taught pre-K, but for the most part, I taught kindergarten.
Okay, and why was kindergarten your grade of choice?
Well, I always liked the little ones, and I felt like if I could give them the foundation, a strong foundation, that would help them throughout their years. Again, going back to Miss Jordan, she made it fun for me. That's something that I remembered as an adult, so I hope that my kindergarten students remember me as well.
Exactly. So tell me about Howard Hall Elementary.
Howard Hall is a beautiful school, inside and out, from the students to the staff and our parents and the community. We're on the north side of Fayetteville, right in front of Pine Forest High School. We are a Spanish immersion school. So I have students on every grade level learning the curriculum in Spanish.
Are you also learning Spanish as well?
I'm learning little by little by little. You know, it's interesting going in for an observation of a teacher who's speaking Spanish. So, you know, you have to know a little to do that. And some of the students are helping me as well. But we're a school that's also going global.
Okay. And
I'm really excited about that. So we are learning, our teachers are learning about what a global school means and how we need to teach our students about the world to integrate that into the curriculum.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about what global means to our audience?
Sure. I think there are maybe 2 or 3 other schools that are global in Cumberland County. So we're going to join them. Each grade will learn about a different continent. Okay. And so our teachers are learning right now what that will look like and how they should integrate that continent into curriculum, the customs, things that they wear, things that the students are learning there. They'll Skype and have conversations with those students, maybe even pen pal. And so it's a year-long thing. And then each year, as they go up in the grades, they'll learn about another continent. So when they end elementary school in 5th grade, they've learned about the world.
I think that's great.
Yes.
So how long have you been a principal?
This year is my 4th year.
Okay.
4 years.
All right. So how are children today different from when you were coming up, Erica? How would you say? When you think about your generation versus the generation today?
Well, one thing, I think they're smarter. And I think that's due to our education system. You know, I grew up with dramatic play and the home center in kindergarten, and we took naps and we played in the sandbox. And while all of those things are important, especially for socialization, those things are absent in today's classroom for kindergarten. Those are more pre-K skills.
Yes, the pre-K does take a nap every day.
And the pre-K takes a nap. Kindergarten is serious business now.
Yes.
You know, it is serious business. They're learning to read and write.
Yeah, and when I talk with my parents, I always talk about how those kindergarten common standards are loaded.
They are so loaded. They are.
Ooh, yes.
That's another reason why it's important to keep parents abreast of what's going on, because their child's kindergarten world is much different from theirs. Another thing, I think our children today have less freedom. I remember growing up in Montclair, and I would walk the neighborhood just for fun, or walk the block, and I'd ride my bike, and I'd stay at my friend's house, or I'd go have a play date with another friend's friend right down the street. Our mothers knew each other, and, you know, it was more carefree. But nowadays, it's sad, you know, with so many sexual predators and child trafficking and just the cruelty that's going on in the world. You know I will not allow my children to do some of the things that I did, have that type of freedom.
And I think another thing, Erica, that we're missing nowadays, when you and I were coming up, we had more of the village concept going on.
Yes.
You know, whereas if I was doing something wrong, they would say, Shanessa, you know better, and I'm going to tell Linda when she gets home. You know, nowadays you dare not say anything to somebody else's child. I mean, oh my goodness, you're going to have a fight with that person when they get home.
That's the truth.
So that's what that village concept that I talk about so much still that we need, but then yet we don't have it still. You know, and that's really, really needed, especially with all these different things going on, the disasters, the shootings, the fighting, you know, the racism that we have in society right now, just all kinds of things, the stereotyping that's going on. We really now need to make sure that we raise our babies and do it as a village.
That's right. I agree.
Okay. Now, what are some of your biggest challenges as a principal, would you say?
Well, you know, sometimes funding is a big challenge when you are the leader and everyone looks to you to provide things for the school. You know, we watch videos on all these innovative things and we see about, you know, all the technology that's out, and and we want those things, and our budget, unfortunately, each year is decreased. So
amen.
So sometimes, you know, you're the cheerleader and you have to keep everyone motivated and you know, look to the positive side of things, even in the midst of not having exactly what you might want for your students in your building.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, when it comes, Erica, to handling difficult situations, you know, how would you say you handle those? What are some of your skills or your coping mechanisms to deal with difficult situations?
Well, one thing, I always remain calm. And, you know, we're all human, so sometimes that's hard, but always to remain calm. And I know it sounds cliche, but I always treat others how I want to be treated. And I always have to remember that I am the model, not only for the students, but for teachers as well. So they're going to watch and see how I respond and how I handle situations, because then they will model that, they will mimic that as well. You know, if they see Miss McAdoo do this, they might think it's okay to do that. So I always want to stay positive and act in a professional manner with integrity. It's funny because they said they were going to get WWMD bracelets. What will McAdoo do? You know, so I take that. I think that's a compliment. You know, they want to do what I do, so I have to always remember that. The other thing is, I'm always honest with people. I really pride myself on being honest with people. If it's an uncomfortable situation, if it hurts their feelings, you know, never intentionally, but I know that I tell people the truth. And at the end of the day, I hope that's respected.
And, you know, it's amazing that you said that, because as a leader, you know, we always have to care enough to confront.
Right.
You know, we can't let things and situations just think they're going to go away and automatically, you know, dissolve in the air. We have to care enough to confront and handle those things.
That's right.
Okay.
It's not always easy, but we do it.
Exactly. What is your philosophy of teaching and your philosophy of learning?
My philosophy of teaching, you know, I feel like if you're going to be a teacher, you have to come in committed. You know, you're not going to be a billionaire, but you do have to be committed. And I feel like you need to do whatever it takes to ensure that the students who are in your care are successful. Whatever it takes. I believe teachers should also be lifelong learners. They should take professional development. They should subscribe to a magazine, a journal, a blog, always partner with their teammates, read and research things, and just stay abreast of what's current, and just to be the best teacher that they can be every day. I feel like that's important as a teacher. And on the flip side, as an administrator, I feel like it's my job to make sure that they are doing that, and that I'm providing those opportunities for them on campus, mini PDs and things to help them grow in our PLC meetings or after school, providing that professional development for them. So I really feel like teachers should be lifelong learners. It should never stop.
Okay. What about the philosophy of learning for your students, for the babies?
Well, for the students, I feel that every child can learn. And they will learn. I have a sign in my office, and it says, every child is gifted. They just unwrap their gifts, their packages at different times.
Exactly.
Because it's true, you know, and it's the same for adults. But for children, I feel like they should have a quality education with a sound teacher. I feel like every child deserves a really strong teacher to give them what they need. And I also believe that with parents, you know, like you said, the village, it's a partnership with the teacher and the parent. So learning, yes, it's a lot put on the teacher, but the parent is a child's first teacher. And I feel like they should be involved, aware of what's going on in the classroom, and should be a partner in it as well. All right.
Well, I thank you, Mrs. McAdoo, for part one of the Bronco Exchange.
Okay.
And thank you, viewing audience. I'm Dr. Shanessa Fenner, the Bronco Exchange.
Familiar stranger, stranger, wait, hold up, don't run, I don't bite. Familiar stranger, got me so very much hypnotized. Familiar stranger, stranger.